What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Royale YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Kevin Coleman, at TheBoys_22, and we are back on this channel talking about another freshman focus. One of my favorite players coming into college football this season. He was one of my guys. I drafted him in everywhere, and that is T-Mac. Tetairoa McMillan from University of Arizona. Absolutely been killing it this season. Super excited for this young man. And just how good can he be is the question. Can he win Pac-12 Freshman of the Year? He has looked very good doing it. We're going to talk about his season and what he looked like, but you have to understand that Arizona is back-ish. They brought him back here, and the big part of this reason is because the recruits they got in, and T-Mac is one of them. McMillan this year, 6'5", 205 kid. He's looked he's strong, he's big, he's tall. We're going to get into his strengths and his weaknesses in a little while. But when you're looking at him from just a perspective as a football player, he's one of my favorite players to watch. He has 28 catches, 470 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He is averaging 16.8 yards per catch. He has been absolutely phenomenal against Washington in a close loss. Listen, Arizona's defense isn't great, but that gives us more time to highlight some guys like McMillan. He had 7 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kind of his coming out party, but he's had a good year, productive year other than that. Oregon, he had 5 catches, 48 yards. He's had good games against Mississippi State, 4 catches, 69 yards. He came out against San Diego State, had 3 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. He has looked very good this season, and Arizona has won 3 games this year. Obviously better than the one they won last. So when we're looking at McMillan, what is he able to do? Now, let's talk about his strengths. And like always on the channel, when we talk about freshmen, we're talking about, hey, what did we project him as? How far do we have him in our rankings? What are we looking at? But also just strengths and weaknesses. Now, strengths of his, body control. Man, when you watch this kid play, it is fantastic. He's got good body control. He's got that frame. He's just a dominant athlete in terms of his body control. He can catch it anywhere. And we're going to watch some highlights from him. You're going to see that one-handed across his body on the sideline, goes up and gets it with that size. I mean, he has it. I mean, when you think of like Drake London in terms of that size, what wide receivers can do, I mean, McMillan has it. When we're talking about him, I think he can make the spectacular catch look routine, and he does that effortlessly. 50-50 balls because of his size and where he's at. Remember, he was a standout basketball and volleyball player, so when he has his jumping ability, he can go up there and get the ball. In the red zone as well, they're going to utilize him more there. You know they will. He can go do it. 50-50 balls, guys going up and getting it, all of those things. Like, that's the stuff that you like from him. McMillan is one of those players. Athleticism. So he's an athlete. So when we're thinking about what he can do on the field, he can pretty much do it all. Like, when you're watching him, just his ability to be just a natural guy, natural pass catcher, natural receiver out there, that starts with athleticism, man. And he's got it, like body control, 50-50 athleticism. And the thing is, he's got the raw tools, right? And like when we see him, he still has a lot of developing to do. And for his production, like we talked about, hey, that 470 yards and 6 touchdowns already through just 7 games, like, he's already doing this. He's out of that wide receiver 0 category. Like, he can do these things. He is a fun player to watch out there. He's one of my favorite players from a strengths perspective. That's the exciting part. Is like, we haven't even, I don't think, hit his ceiling yet. Imagine what we're going to see when we get his ceiling, right? Now, let's talk about weaknesses, because we do. Like, we got to mention these things. Like, we're gonna go over everything for him. Couple things that kind of stand out first. Top end speed, he's not going to have that. Like, he's got okay speed. Like, I think that when he gets into open space, all right, he can go do that. Like, when he gets into open space and he has that ability, he can make guys miss. He's got some yak ability, but he's not going to be that vertical threat. So that's the other weakness that we see on the screen. That vertical threat's not going to be there, right? So when we're talking vertical threat, we are not talking like legitimate, hey, he's going to take tops off the defenses. So he's not a burner. He's good after the catch. He's a good route runner, not a burner. Okay. And strength. He's got to work on that strength. I think that he catches the ball well through contact, but again, he's got that big frame and that size. Now, he's 205. And that's more than, now he's listed at 205. What is he really? This is the question that we always come into. 247 sports time at 185 coming out of high school. He is a freshman. Is he really building up that much? I know he's an early enrollee, so that helps, right? So when we're thinking of like, hey, maybe put on that weight. I think he's somewhere in between. He's got to get that little bit of size off the line, getting jammed, doing those things. Like, I would like to see him a little bit more there. But again, remember, when we're talking about weaknesses, we're talking about this kid has so much potential to go get better. Like, when we're thinking of what he does, I mean, that's the area that you love to see. Like, those are the things that you like to see from him as a receiver. Now let's break down the film, man. This is why we're here. So let's look a little bit. Now, he was the freshman of the week. He's been a freshman week 2 weeks in a row. You're going to see it here. This is what we're talking about in terms of just athleticism. Now that angle doesn't do it justice, boys. Let's look at this one. So we're talking about what he's able to do. making the spectacular catch look routine. And that's what he's going to do. He has good concentration. He sees that ball in a lot. And I think that's one of the things when I watch his tape, just concentration. He doesn't have a ton of drops, in my opinion, just based on what I've seen from him. He's been able to do these type of things, and he makes quarterbacks' mistakes or just look like no mistakes at all, right? Like, look at his ability to go up and get it. That's that length that you like to see. Like, I hope you guys know, like, my enthusiasm for this kid. T-Mac is one of my favorite players in college football. Like, I love watching him play. He's really elevated that offense. You'll see it here again. Catches on the sidelines, can score there. Against Washington, he had a hell of a game. I know that defense has been struggling. Now, this is where I talk about he has that ability, right? Like, he's not going to have that play strength, or that big play strength, right? So we're going over the top, but he can do this. Goes over the middle. Great rub route right there. He's able to kind of have enough area here. And then he's got that long stride. Then he hits his speed. Like, he has adequate speed. He has that speed that you think, hey, he can do this as he gets moving. I don't think he'll ever have that long speed, but he can do this. Makes that first guy miss the tackle here. Then he's got that strength and that ability to kind of go and get it there. And he's got that long stride or those long pathways. Like, that is kind of McMillan's game in terms of like what he can do. And again, you're going to see it here. Able to get here, good 50-50 balls. And that's what I'm going to show you there. Okay, now he catches this. The referee calls it a touchdown, but he does elevate himself here. So we're thinking of like, hey, can he do these things? He can. He's got that 50-50 skills, goes up and gets it. This is his game right here. Like, this is where he's going to make his bread and butter. He's kind of a throwback, right? As old guys, we talk about those big wide receivers and going. Like, Drake London is a good comp. I think he's got to get more size, right, when thinking of, like, weight-wise. But, like, going up and getting it, like, he can do that. And when we're looking at what he's been able to do this year, that's what we're talking about in terms of just his skill, right? 28 catches, 470 yards again. Now, let's talk about outlook. So when we're talking about outlook and where we project him right now, hey, if you don't know, like, we have our own Patreon here. We have our rankings and everything there. Just looking at our rankings, talking about like where we have him ranked, he's up there with the freshman class. Like, I personally, when you're looking at my receiver class, I was very high on him coming out anyway. He's a top 5 guy for me in terms of where he's been and where he's going to be moving forward. Consensus right now, we have him at 8. And depending on where you're at, but think of guys ahead of him. I think Evan Stewart and Luther Burden are right there. But after that, what have we seen? We haven't seen much out of CJ Williams. We haven't seen a ton out of DJ Allen. Caleb Brown really hasn't been out there. And Tony Williams has looked good, but McMillan has really produced. And so we're talking about a top 3-4 guy of his class and a guy that's going to elevate that offense. Him and Jacob Cowan has looked really good together. Arizona's got to turn around. We're going to see more production because they're going to have negative game scripts because that defense is really bad. So they're going to be throwing it there. Moving forward, next year he's going to have more familiarity, with Jaden DeLora. So I like what we see out of him. I think that we're talking about a kid that could be very, very good at the next level, and we need to start projecting him like that. I think he's one of my favorite guys. I love that he's producing. It's something that I think is a great thing to see from him. I'm really, really happy for him. So I appreciate you guys tuning in the channel like always. I can't thank you guys enough. Hit that like and subscribe button. Check out our college football show. It plays every Wednesday on footballguys.com, our YouTube channel there from 3 Eastern, 12 my time. The only time that matters is West Coast time. Don't tell my co-host I said that. But check that out. Hit that like and subscribe button. Find us underneath. Maybe think about our Patreon if you like college football, Devy, those type of things. We appreciate you guys tuning in. But hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to bring you guys content every day of the week. Trying to do this for you guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll check you guys next time.